Good evening. Welcome back to Meadow Park. You'll have just seen there the new gunner entering the fray. Royal Walters, who's going to join the action. And Nick, as we hinted at towards the end of that first half, it's a lot of running while playing in that wing-back role. It looks like he's just going to slot in there perfectly on that right-hand side.
Yeah, Max, you did mention it, didn't you, at the end of the first half? Zach Swanson had been absolutely everywhere for Arsenal, and 45 minutes today, and gives Royal Walters a good opportunity with his side in complete command of this tie, really. Bournemouth, I get the feeling here, are going to have to start chasing the game if they're not back into it after the hour mark or so.
Bournemouth immediately trying to make an impact from the restart, but Arsenal picking up where they left off. Here's Omari Hutchinson out to the right-hand side. Here is Royal Walters, the substitute. Arsenal's number 12 today, laying it back to Alex Kirk for him to loft it forward to the halfway line. Close control by Omari Hutchinson. I'll tell you what, when he gets it under his spell, Omari Hutchinson, is very difficult to take him off him. And here's Zach Swanson popping up on the left side now for this second half. Given away rather cheaply. Joel Lopez it is who's made way at half time for Royal Walters. Swanson does have the ability to switch wings. He can also play in a central position as well. Very versatile youngster. Here's Hutchinson getting it onto that favoured left foot. Now Cottrell out to Swanson. First opportunity for him to attack on the left-hand side. Walters. Alex Kirk joining the action. All the way back to Okonkwo. Better pressing from Bournemouth at the start of this second half, Nick.
Yeah, Arsenal just need to make sure that they get back into that space they're in the first half, where they really gave the ball away when Bournemouth put them under that pressure, and when they did just there, they won it back instantly and begin to go forward with Gungbo, who's appeared in an advanced position.
Well, he had an opportunity there, didn't he, Gungbo? The flag had gone up on the far side. Cruelly robbing him of an opportunity to slot one in.
He did well in the first instance because on that occasion, Dakor had given possession away and instantly managed to just nick it back for Arsenal. And then one of those runs that we saw throughout the first half from Moore and Alex Kirk as well. Going to be needed in a defensive capacity here, though.
Here's an opportunity for the former gunner, Tariq Gidere. Didn't quite get that ball under control. Brave goalkeeping from Arthur Okonkwo. Hooked forward all the way to that right-hand side. Seems like now with the ball out on the far side, Nick, we've had some questions at half-time. A few viewers have been in touch with us. We'll start with Moore_EU. Says, if Nick knows, how much influence does Arteta have on the playing style for the Arsenal youngsters?
I think the youngsters will need to fit into that Arsenal DNA, and that won't just be Mikel Arteta. That's something that is taught at all levels from when you first arrive at Hale End.
I'm just going to interrupt you here, Nick, because there's a decent opportunity. Head clear by Zakor.
But yeah, look, it's something that's integrated and ingrained in you when you arrive at Hale End. Arsenal like to play a certain way, and that goes from the youngest players in the academy right through to the first team. And the whole point of that is that then when you do get the opportunity to break into the first team, you're completely aware of how you need to play. The whole club plays in a similar way, don't they? Even though sometimes the formations may differ. For example, tonight Arsenal have lined up with 3 at the back. Mikel Arteta at the moment prefers a 4, but it's the way that they play, and that's similar throughout all levels, really. And it really helped the likes of Bukayo Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe and countless others before them. Hopefully plenty more to come in the future as well to break into that first team. So I think there's more of a style ingrained at the whole club, really, and of course that goes up to first team level as well.
Speaking of the first team, that brings us on to the next one from Jummy. How close do you think Omari Hutchinson is to getting in the first team? Well, I guess if you're looking at Carabao Cup squads, FA Cup squads, not too far away, is he?
No, not at all. I think he's pretty close, and for him now, the key thing is just to continue doing what he can, get himself into that position. You know, when he trains with the first team, make sure he takes that opportunity. He doesn't go into his shell as well. He's got to where he has in football by playing a certain way, and he needs to continue to do that because he's so supremely talented, as I'm sure all our fans watching will agree, as Arsenal come forward again.
Yeah, it's Marcelo Flores. Now to Omari Hutchinson again, finding that space, able to take it away from the defenders with 1 or 2 neat touches on the ball. This time he does cross into the area. I'll tell you what, Alex Kirker continued his run. He was waiting for that one to land on the volley. Just nodded away from him at the last second. Here's Cottrell. Just looking to settle things there as Zach Swanson goes flying into a challenge there. Looked to spin into the path of Brooklyn Genesini on this near side. Cottrell will track him every step of the way. And lays it back to Arthur Okonkwo. Another interesting question here. We haven't seen many defenders come through Hale End in recent years, but which one from the current crop is going to change that?
It's a good question. I think the way Arsenal have defended in this game, there are plenty there who do have the potential to do so. Of course, breaking into the first team squad is difficult, especially with Arsenal's back four as settled as it is at the moment. The depth that the Gunners do have as well, but as we said in the first half, these games will be watched very closely by members of first team coaching group, including Mikel Arteta. So for the likes of Kirkor and Gungbo, this is a really good chance for them, as well as, of course, Roy Walters and Zach Swanson, as well as Joel Lopez, who we saw in the first half.
Nice bit of play to open up some space for Zida Gungbo on this near side. One of many highly weighted youngsters who can play anywhere across the back line. Republic of Ireland Youth International as well, Zida Gungbo. I know that the senior setup for Ireland are keeping a very close eye on him too, as Ben Cottrell evades the pressure from Christian Sadie. I have one final question, Nick, from Krish. Which players in the under-23s gets the commentators out of their seats as possible difference makers in the match? I mean, we've spoken about Omari Hutchinson a lot, but when you look at the rest of this team, players on the bench as well, which names stand out for you?
Well, I love watching Marcelo Flores, Max, I have to say. I really like the little areas he gets himself into, the pockets of space that he finds. I think he's really exciting to watch. He's acclimatised well to life at Arsenal. Got an eye-catching celebration as well. The Gunners come forward once more here.
Yeah, here's Bireth, another one who's capable of getting fans off their seats. Expert finisher. He's just crowded out on that occasion.
Yeah, Mika Bireth, as you mentioned there, is another one. Interestingly, actually, he grew up with Jamal Musiala, Bayern Munich forward. They're best friends. Bireth and Musiala. Good to see his friend making big strides in the Bundesliga and the German national team as well. Bireth, plenty to aspire to there, and an excellent finisher. Just get the opportunity that when the ball breaks through in the box, there's only ever going to be one outcome, and that's that the net's going to bulge.
What I'm hopeful of is that at some point in this game, we're going to see Mario Cozier-Duberry coming off the bench. Certainly a youngster with plenty of potential. 16 years old. The under-18s this season, 11 appearances, 5 goals, 2 assists. Actually scored and assisted on his England under-16 debut as well against Wales. And can play anywhere in the 3 roles behind the front man. So let's hope as the game reaches the hour mark, we might see a bit of action from the bench. Like Nick says, there's so many talented players in this young Arsenal side. It really is a great crop to be able to commentate on and to be able to watch as frequently as we are. Now here's Hutchinson gliding away from one before he's halted in his tracks by Ibsen Rossi. Stolen back by Flores. Now here's Biereth peeling off to the right-hand side. He knew he was off. Well, actually, he thought he was offside. What he's actually ended up doing is giving away a throw-in on this near side. It's a strange sequence of events.
Yeah, it was indeed. Just to finish on that final question as well, Max, I know you're a massive fan of Jack Henry Francis, aren't you?
Oh, Henry Francis, of course, yeah. He just does the simple things so well. He can also play passes like that to find Hutchinson here. Going for the far corner. Not too far away from Hutchinson. He's getting closer as this game goes on.
Yeah, good effort again. It's so difficult to defend against him because you can't really show him onto either foot because he's so strong on both his right and his left. And on that occasion, he did just shift inside onto that preferred left peg and arc a shot towards goal. Plenty of power on it, not quite the direction though.
Again, hooked forward by Arsenal. Flores again chasing it. Ben Cottrell's there to pick up the second ball. Wants the option down the line. Instead, he's gone inside to find Flores quite brilliantly. Now Biereth, it might open up for a shot into the side netting on this occasion. Looked much more lively in the second half. Arsenal able to get the ball into him a lot more since the restart.
Yeah, so sharp, isn't he, when he receives possession in the penalty area? Mika Biereth. He tried to give the goalkeeper the eyes. It looked as though he was just going to try and guide it into the far corner, and then he whipped across the ball, sent it towards the near post. And when I saw the net move there, Max, I thought it was 3-0 for a split second, but as it is, Bournemouth still just about retaining some hope in this game. Arsenal have dominated the second half as they dominated the first, and really all that's missing now is what you'd assume would be a killer third goal.
There's Jack Wadham in possession, looking for forward options. Arsenal back in numbers. Christian Sadie is still able to carry it forward. It was a big challenge on the edge of the area. Fortunately, both players have been able to get back up to their feet eventually. Yeah, sharp intake of breath from you, Nick.
Yeah, well, I was surprised that Mr. Yanni let the first one go, but then blew up for the second one. It did look like it could have been a dangerous challenge. Thankfully for Arsenal, it doesn't look like there's any ill effects being felt there, but it was a really hearty challenge, let's put it that way.
Interesting. We've been talking about all of the talent on display on the pitch, not just Arsenal, Bournemouth as well. A number of talented players in their ranks, of course. If you just look at the names that are missing from this under-23 side, the likes of Miguel Aziz, of course, recently recalled from a loan spell with Portsmouth. And Edwards, who scored a crucial equaliser against West Ham last time out in the Premier League too. Here's a Gungbo getting forward in an offside position. But yeah, going back to the players who have missed out today, Karl Hein as well, Estonia's Young Player of the Year. He's playing international football, despite the fact that he's still only 19 years old, the goalkeeper. Zaman Louis missing through injury. Brooke Norton-Cuffy just joined Lincoln on loan. James Oleinka, Salah Ulad Mahand and Charlie Patino presumably are going to be involved with the first team at Liverpool, which would explain their absence tonight. Plenty of young players who are coming through. Keto Taylor-Hart as well. How could we forget him? Exciting options all over the pitch for Arsenal. It's a good time to be a Gunners fan.
Oh, for sure. And look, Max, all of them have the best role models to follow as well in Bukayo Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe, who have trodden the same path that these youngsters are now. And as well as they're doing in the first team, it's their attitude, it's the fact that you look at Saka and Smith-Rowe and they're just Arsenal, aren't they? They are pure Arsenal men. Completely understand the ethos of the club, the values of the club, Arsenal DNA that we've mentioned a couple of times this evening as well. It flows through their veins, really. I'm sure that for the 11 out on the pitch at the moment, for the substitutes, for those not involved who might be tuning in to watch tonight, there cannot be any better role models and examples than Bukayo Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe.
It's another big challenge. Again, it's on Zakor, and again, it's involving Christian Saidy. The two of them in the last couple of minutes have gone colliding into each other. It will be a deserved yellow card for Saidy. I don't think there was any malicious intent behind it. It was a full-blooded challenge.
Yeah, it's another one that I think there or just took a slightly loose touch, which invited Saidy to make the challenge, but then it was still really late, and once again, a very forceful tackle. Referee completely right there to show the yellow card. Bournemouth's third of the evening. He joins Greenwood and Wadham in the book. Arsenal also have had a yellow card of their own as well, the way of Masida Gungbo, if you're just tuning in.
If you are just tuning in, 60 minutes on the clock. No goals in the second half, but it's the 2 goals in the first that are doing the damage so far. Marcelo Flores getting the first, Jack Henry-Francis with the second. Arsenal have looked dominant throughout the course of the evening. Started this second half like a house on fire. Though just starting to put a bit more pressure on the Gunners, especially when they're trying to play it out from the back. Swanson just waiting for a bit of support for this throw-in. Joined Maastricht in the Dutch second division on a season-long loan back in 2020. He was recalled in December after his 3 appearances. We know that sometimes loan spells don't work out just as you want them to. Ever since he's come back, he's looked very effective in this under-23 side. He's had a very good performance tonight. Now playing on the opposite flank to where he started the game as Hutchinson skips away from another couple of challenges. There's a decent ball in. It might have fallen for Beereth. Again, more good tracking back by Ben Cottrell. He's playing a slightly deeper role than we're used to seeing him in. Previous seasons, Nick, we're used to seeing Cottrell pop up either in a wide area or maybe as a number 10, but he almost seems to be playing the Santi Cazorla deep-lying playmaker sort of role.
Yeah, and it gives Arsenal yet another option when they do look to build from deep. The vision of Cottrell and Henry-Francis, the movement of Hutchinson in front and Flores as well, who likes to find those pockets of space, and then a poacher in Beereth up top as well. It's a pretty fearsome lineup to come up against, as Bournemouth have found out this evening.
Going for the crossfield switch. Looking for Greenwood, who had bombed on that left-hand side. Tough one for Gungbo to deal with, but deal with it he has. Finds Alex Kirk in a bit of space on the right-hand side. More good play by Masida Gungbo. Tell you what a ball that would be if Ben Cottrell can get there. He's crashing into the barricade on the side of the pitch. Wondering what's happening here. A bit of dissent perhaps from the Bournemouth skipper. That's going to be the end of Omari Hutchinson's evening. He's replaced by Amario Cozier-Duberry. Swanson, quite rightly given the armband as the senior member in this under-23 side. Another good, effective display from Amari Hutchinson, and an exciting one as well, Nick.
Absolutely, Max. You know what you're going to get when you watch him, but he's just got so much that he offers, doesn't he? Because, of course, that you can look at the pace and the guile, the movement, but it's what he does off the ball that I love. It's the positions that he takes up. It's the way that he invites opponents onto him and then just has that little burst of pace to just leave them for dead. And, you know, that creates that space further up the pitch for his teammates. He always seems to make the right decision as well. And do you know what? It's unfortunate, really, that he hasn't got the goal this evening that I think his performance has merited once more. And just going back to the referee there speaking to Brennan Camp, I think it's because the aforementioned Hutchinson was on the end of a really meaty challenge from the Bournemouth skipper just prior to coming off. The visitors have actually shuffled their pack as well, and you can see why, with 25 minutes or so to go of this game and needing to find 2 goals if they are to salvage anything from this trip to Meadow Park.
Yeah, Nia Boutin is one of the substitutes. He's come on for Jack Wadham in midfield. It's been a bit of a thankless task for Wadham this afternoon. Trying to get the ball back from Arsenal's midfielders, who have dominated play in the centre of the park. Confirmation on the second substitution for Bournemouth when we have it. Alex Kirk. You can hear Sean Cooper on the touchline barking orders, telling his team to get up and apply pressure high up the field. It's worked in their favour. They want a throw-in on the far side. The other substitution was Ben Winterburn, replacing Aaron Roberts again in midfield. So 2 changes there, fresh legs in the centre of the park for Bournemouth. We head into the final 25 minutes of this Premier League Cup tie. A reminder, an Arsenal win here will take them within just 2 points of the group leaders West Brom, ahead of their showdown on Valentine's Day. So still an opportunity as it stands for the Gunners to top the group. Swanson back to Agungbo. Nia Boutin wanted to take that throw in quickly. No options on for him. Look how quickly Arsenal are back in their defensive shape. Kozia Dubry, number 16, lining up in midfield alongside Ben Cottrell there, centre of your picture. And Arsenal do clear the danger again for another throw-in. Coincidentally, this will be, well, if the score stays the same, this will be Arsenal under-23's first win since a dramatic victory over Blackburn at the end of November. Premier League 2 form. They went on a 6-game unbeaten run after their opening defeat to West Ham United, which included 5 wins and a draw. They've struggled since then, but tonight they've done their job, and they've done it very professionally as well, Nick.
Yeah, so far there's still a lot of work to do, and no team will know that better than Arsenal, given the comebacks that we've seen on this side this season. The game is never over. But what we've seen from them in the opening 70 minutes or so of this game has been really impressive. You think if they can find another goal, that will really just put any lingering doubts that any of the crowd might have at ease. Of course, I'm sure the players are supremely confident out there on the pitch because the way they've moved the ball, and the performance from 1 to 11 has been so calm, so assured, so confident, and so effective so far.
Alex Kirk into feet of Flores, who's just able to shrug off the defenders and roll it into the path of Beereth. Oh, it's a brilliant ball into the box. And Kozia Dubry's on hand to apply the finishing touch. Well, we spoke of this young man's talent. And he timed his run to perfection, but all the work was done for him in the build-up. First of all by Marcelo Flores to create the space, and then Beereth with the assist. It's Arsenal 3, Bournemouth 0.
Yeah, and it only took 5 minutes from Mario Kozia Dubry to make some impression, and once again you can see the congratulations being dished out among the whole team, because it's another excellent team move. That time Flores in a deeper position, just shrugging the opponent off him, firing a really nice ball to Beereth. And for all of Mika Beereth's goal scoring ability, he's an excellent provider of goals and opportunities as well. It was the right pass, exactly the right weight on it, and it just made it so simple for Kozia Dubry, who continued his run, to just stroke home with the first touch finish. And you can see there Beereth and Flores exchanging words. I'm sure they'll just be congratulating each other, because it's another really well-crafted goal, and one that puts Arsenal, I have to say, on the verge of what's been a supremely confident and convincing victory.
It's really encouraging as well, looking on for the Arsenal fans, to see blossoming combination forming between Flores and Beereth, especially when you've got, you know, the likes of Fuller and Balogun, who obviously scored so many goals in the first part of the season before moving out to Borough on loan. And what you've got is a ready-made goal-scoring replacement in Mika Beereth. And the man behind him who's just making things tick at the moment, Marcelo Flores, and here he is again, arriving again right at the heart of the Bournemouth defence. Stolen away from him though by Ben Winterburn. Arsenal look to be readying another substitute. Might be another forward player joining the action. Still got the likes of Nathan Butler-Oyedeji, Joel Adeo on the bench. Two lightning quick wingers.
Yeah, it's the last thing that the Bournemouth back four want, isn't it, Max? Those two coming off the bench, plenty of pace to stretch an already tired-looking Bournemouth back line. They have, I think, just want a throw in, have they? No, the referee's decided it's going to go Arsenal's way.
Here is that substitution. And that's going to be the end of Mika Beereth's night. It's another good night's work for the Arsenal number 9. Nathan Butler-Oyedeji. It's a well-earned run out. He's a hard-working lad, Butler-Oyedeji. I know that the coaches at Arsenal's training ground really value his commitment and his attitude off the pitch. Very much a team player as well. He'll work hard for his teammates out there. And given away by Zakor. Opportunity for Bournemouth to perhaps test Arthur Okonkwo, who was happy to let that one go over his crossbar. Judged it well, the goalkeeper. A decent opportunity for Jake Scrimshaw.
Yeah, just trying to catch the goalkeeper out there. I wasn't expecting Grimshaw to try and test him at his near post, and would have been relieved to see the ball over the top. I do think he would have had it covered were it on target, but just a little warning sign that, okay, it is 3-0 and there's not too long to go in this game, but Bournemouth are going to continue coming forward and try and find a route back into it. If they can get one, then we put Arsenal under some pressure. They need to defend again here, which they have done well, as they've done all evening. Zakor, who's impressed the both of us, I think it's fair to say, Max, once again there, just getting across and knocking the ball behind for a corner.
And the Gunners just need to be careful. No complacency creeps into the game. They've done well so far, tackled this one very professionally. They don't want to let themselves down. Any lapses in concentration at the back. Meanwhile, going forward, look at the pace here, running through the middle. It's Kozia Dubry again, found by Marcelo Flores. There's the palms of Will Dennis in the Bournemouth goal. Swanson's there on the follow-up. Not too much communication between the two of them there. Bournemouth will settle for a throw-in. Another example, though, of just how quickly this Gunners side can spring forward.
Yeah, and it's exactly what we said would happen as well, as Bournemouth try and chase the game and just desperately look for a way back into this game. It just does leave that space open, and Flores certainly has the vision to exploit it, and Kozia Dubry has the pace to then get in behind.
Well, Flores is really enjoying himself out there today. He carries it from one side of the penalty area to the other. He's still in possession. Marcelo Flores, they can't get the ball off him at the moment. Every single ricochet seems to be bouncing in his favour. You must have played against loads of players like that when you were younger, Nick. Just every time you go to tackle them, they just seem to get the luck of the bounce, and Marcelo Flores is having one of those seasons for Arsenal. Picks up possession again. Walters back into Flores, who takes it away from Kozia Dubry. Wanted to go himself. Can't really blame him with the level of confidence he's playing with at the moment. One back by Kozia Dubry. Oyedeji was challenging for the ball as well. Bournemouth are able to find a bit of space on this near side, and it's Tariq Gidary who can carry it forward. A powerful runner, the Bournemouth number 7, but he's met his match in Dakar, or at least he thought he did. He does win a free kick.
Yeah, not sure there was too much in that, really. Arsenal here are going to have to make sure that keep their concentration levels up this set piece. Bournemouth have unsurprisingly sent forward the likes of Ibsen, Rossi and Camp as well.
Well, as ever, it's Ben Greenwood, the left back, who stood over this set piece. We've seen him rattle in a few corners. Plenty in the first half. Bournemouth had lots of set pieces. This is a big chance for them in the second. In it goes. None of the players had angled their run towards the far post. It was a relatively free header for Arsenal, and they were able to clear under next to no pressure. Brooklyn Genesini looking to get his side back on the front foot from the halfway line. Switch sides, the right back with this man here, Ben Greenwood. Nippard. Across to the captain, Brennan Camp. Under pressure from Oyedeji. As I mentioned, he will hassle, he will harry. Won't give a defender a moment's time to breathe or collect their thoughts. Going to be on their case as soon as possible. Fits really well into the pressing game plan that Kevin Betsy has. That's part of the Arsenal DNA, of course. Here's Genesini. Bournemouth win a throw-in on that far side. It's flicked on. Still a bit of defensive work for Reuel Walters to do. Done it well. Actually named as the Guardian's standout first-year scholar from an Arsenal point of view. Captained Arsenal's under-18s while still a schoolboy, Reuel Walters. Of course, deputised for Brooke Norton-Cuffy at under-23 level. He was actually very close to joining Manchester United. It's a story which has been told a number of times, but it was just an administration error, which meant that he was able to join Arsenal from their North London rivals, Tottenham. And he's excelled ever since as he wins his side a goal kick.
Yeah, he's certainly one of many in the Arsenal Academy, Max, who really has got a big future. Exciting fullback or wingback in this case. I have to say I've been really impressed tonight with Arsenal's wingbacks. I mean, look, Arsenal have been the dominant side all over the pitch, but Zach Swanson in that first half as well was excellent up and down the flank. Really dangerous in attack and diligent in defence.
Swanson finding Zakor. Now Henry Francis, who we've not seen too much of in this second half, but his positioning, I guess he's almost like the player that goes under the radar. That famous quote, wasn't there, about Sergio Busquets? When you watch the game, you don't see Busquets, but when you watch Busquets, you see the whole game. I'm not suggesting that the two are comparable, but Henry Francis is having one of those quietly influential games. There's Cottrell into the path of Flores, who's twisting and turning, trying to find the opening. There's Henry Francis out to Walters. And now back with the young Arsenal midfielder. Who's your Dubry? There's a chance now for Flores to make it 4. And he obliges to. Rolled into the bottom corner confidently. It's his second of the game. It's even more impressive, that celebration. It's Arsenal 4, Bournemouth 0.
Yeah, it's another excellent goal. Once again, it's the build-up, isn't it? It's the rapid interchange. It's the dummy from Kozia Dubry. And then once Flores went clean through, he was only ever going to score. He's playing with so much confidence at the moment. Terrific finish, giving Will Dennis absolutely no chance, lasering it in at the far post. Well, he's on a hat-trick now, Max. Has been outstanding this evening. Also played a big part in Arsenal's third goal as the Gunners' number 11. You can see why so many Arsenal fans are so excited, of course. But there is still a long way to go. As promising as these players are, they are still learning the game. They're going to make mistakes at times. They're going to go through periods where things perhaps don't go so well for them, but it's about how you deal with those and learn from them. Marcelo Flores at the moment just seems to be at the top of his game, and it's really, really exciting for the future.
He's got good pedigree, Marcelo Flores. Comes from a footballing family. Both his mum and his dad played the game at a very high level. He's got 2 younger sisters, Silvana and Tatiana, and they're both pro footballers as well. Very talented family. I think he's well on his way to becoming a bit of a household name, Marcelo Flores. That's the left-hand side now for Bournemouth. Greenwood and now Winterburn. In field for Pollock, who's the most recent player to come off the bench for Bournemouth. Slips in possession though. Allows the Gunners to come forward once more. Flores to Cottrell. Another good dummy from him. Good awareness from Arsenal. They seem to know where they've got an extra man on the pitch. And in this system that they are playing, they're having plenty of opportunities to outnumber Bournemouth wherever they may be. Just over 5 minutes to go. We'd love to get your thoughts on the game, how you've seen it pan out, which players have stood out for you, what you're most excited about for the future, as Ben Winterburn lines one up from distance. It was never truly going to trouble Arthur Okonkwo. Again, you see the starting positions here, Nick, of the Arsenal centre-backs and Jack-Henry Francis as well. 3 players in the Arsenal area trying to retrieve a goal kick. In the end, they managed to beat the press again. Here's Flores, 2 players for company. Still holding possession until eventually he is outnumbered.
They're just so confident, aren't they, Max? So composed on the ball. And from that occasion, it was 2 passes and they'd broken through. You know, Bournemouth now, I think, are really starting to flag and struggle a bit. They know the game's gone.
Henry Francis across for Swanson. Might shift it onto his right here. It's a dipping strike. An awkward one for the goalkeeper if it's on target. Fortunately for Will Dennis. Does just drift wide of his bottom corner.
Yeah, it's decent effort. As you mentioned, it did dip and it bounced and couldn't quite find the target, but I think this has been a really convincing performance tonight from Arsenal. I'm sure that everyone watching at home from a Gunners perspective will be delighted by what they've seen. I'm sure Kevin Betsy will be, and Mertesacker, of course, as well. They do have some defending to do here, though, and I think it will annoy them more than if they sacrifice that clean sheet now, having worked so hard for 85 minutes or so.
Genesini putting the ball through. Zida Gungbo, though, read the danger. Clever play from him as well to win the free kick.
Yeah, this result, Max, would put Arsenal in a really good position in the PL Cup. Put them 4 points ahead of Bournemouth, albeit Bournemouth will still have a game in hand. But what it means, more importantly, is that if Arsenal win their last game off the group stage against West Bromwich Albion, they will be guaranteed a place in the knockout stage. The Baggies, who top the group at the moment, now they were beaten 4-0 by Bournemouth, actually, in their most recent game.
This is better from Bournemouth as they're able to fashion a chance. Well, he snatched at it in the end. Jake Scrimshaw, you can see he's disappointed with himself, but the build-up play, very good from the visiting side.
Yeah, and we haven't seen enough of it this evening. Jake Scrimshaw, as we mentioned before, is a player with real pedigree. He's got experience playing in League Two. To say again, Arthur Okonkwo, so calm on the ball.
Well, look at the space for Henry, for Jack Henry Francis. He's given away rather cheaply, though, and now he's going to have to run all the way back towards his own goal. Well, he would have done had Marcelo Flores not won back possession. And the referee is just going to pull up play here. Well, the Bournemouth player gets some treatment. It's an interesting period, actually, for Kevin Betsy's side. Big couple of weeks for them. It's Derby away on Friday. That's going to be a 7 o'clock kickoff. And then after that, a week today, the Papa John's Trophy quarter-final against Wigan at DW Stadium. Following that, it's the old rival, the old nemesis, Chelsea at home on Friday, the 4th of February. And then finally, final Group A game in this competition against West Brom. And if Arsenal play like they did tonight, well, they should definitely fancy getting their revenge on the Baggies.
Oh, absolutely. The way they played tonight, missing the players that you mentioned, Max, has been really encouraging for the future of this team. Let's not forget, these players still learning the game. Some of them will be knocking on the door of playing first-team football in the near future, but you can never stop learning, especially at academy level. And today, they've been up against some players with real experience insofar as under-23s football is concerned. Christian Sadie and Jake Scrimshaw have both played first-team football. So has Brennan Camp and Ibsen Rossi. But if you were watching this game and didn't know that, you think it's the Arsenal players who have tasted that first-team environment, which hasn't really been the case. But performances like these are going to be knocking on the door, perhaps firstly for the cup competitions, it seems to be the more kind of traditional route into the first team. And if they're able to continue with their development, putting in displays like this, working hard, having the right attitude, Per Mertesacker, doesn't he always speaks about strong young gunners? They can develop into those strong young gunners, they're going to have a chance.
Especially the way that the senior team's going at the moment. Obviously, it's a very strong run in the Carabao Cup, but if we're looking ahead to next season, perhaps there's a European competition as well where Mikel Arteta can blood a few youngsters in the early group stage. And of course, the Carabao Cup, FA Cup as well to follow, the Papa John's Trophy. There's so many opportunities now for these youngsters to find their way in senior football, whereas before it might have just been a loan spell and hope for the best, whereas now it seems like it's much more integrated. They're much more used to playing in the style that they will eventually play when they get more regular Premier League minutes.
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, going back a couple of years when Arsenal were in European competitions, you would occasionally see in the last couple of group stage games that the young players would get their opportunity, and that's, you know, where the likes of Saka and Smith Rowe did have their first taste of first team football. It was playing in those first team Europa League games and in the cup competitions as well.
Think of Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Galatasaray away, of course. Stephen O'Connor, I think, actually played right back in that same game where Maitland-Niles made his debut. Alex Iwobi in the League Cup, playing away to Sheffield Wednesday, I think it was, or maybe even that was the FA Cup. Plenty of opportunities for these youngsters to find a way in the senior game. Still have a game to close out here, though. As the clock runs down, I know that there's going to be a very obvious answer here, Nick, but how about a few honourable mentions for your man of the match?
Well, I think, Max, as we've kind of said during this game, Arsenal have been excellent all over the pitch tonight. They've been the better side from the first minute until the last. They've defended really well. They've passed the ball brilliantly, haven't they, across the whole pitch. I think honourable mentions-wise, I was really impressed again with Amari Hutchinson. The first half performance of Zach Swanson was excellent. Jack Henry-Francis, again, quiet, brilliant, as he always is. The back three have been really impressive. I think, of course, the man of the match is going to be Marcelo Flores this evening, but plenty of honourable mentions. And also the substitutes have had a real impact on the game too. Roy Walters has looked really comfortable, and of course Mario Cozier-Dubry getting his goal so soon after coming off the bench as well. It's just been a night full of positives for Kevin Betsy's side, and one that I certainly hope all the Gunners watching at home will have enjoyed.
Yeah, real pleasure to watch, real pleasure to commentate on, and of course bring this to you live in your homes, wherever you are tuning in. There's Cozier-Dubry playing it out to Alex Kirk on that right-hand side. Looking very secure as well on his return from injury. Still a bit of time for a late yellow card. Handed to the centre-back, Zeno Ibsen-Rossi.
He's the fifth Bournemouth player in the book this evening, joining Greenwood, Camp, Woodham and Sadie.
Arsenal will just run down the clock for these final few moments. Swanson switches play. Zakor. Now Rua Walters continues his run on the right-hand side. Forced backwards to Henry Francis. Arsenal still very much in possession, very much in control at the end of a dominant evening for Kevin Betsy's side. Nice few touches from Marcelo Flores before a spin move in there as well for good measure. Unfortunately, unable to keep that one in, but it will be an Arsenal corner. So full of confidence, he's trying everything out there.
Yeah, he's just someone who's loving his football at the moment. It's a joy to watch, it really is. The belief he has in himself, the ability as well. It really is a joy to witness. Has lit up a cold evening in Hertfordshire tonight, has Arsenal's number 11.
Well, there is the final whistle from Savas-Yianni. It's a comfortable evening's work for Kevin Betsy and his side, who started off so well. Inside the opening 2 minutes, Marcelo Flores able to guide an effort home following a breakdown in communication from the Bournemouth defence, unable to clear an early set piece. And Jack Henry Francis got in on the act as well, continuing his run from deep midfield to find himself in the 6-yard box and just convert home from close range. Mario Kozia-Dubry then came off the bench to add a third before Flores. Well, probably the pick of the bunch, actually, breaking through into the box and rifling home into the bottom corner to make it 4. 2 goals on the night for him. He very much was the star performer. He celebrates there with Amari Hutchinson. Final word from you, Nick Brumsack, on an entertaining performance from the Young Gunners.
Yeah, just a joy to watch tonight for Arsenal. The most important thing, of course, at this level is in the cup, at least getting the result, because